pushing us out the back door into the alley out the back because they didn't want us coming out the front.
It is a very tragic weekend in the U.S. as we welcome you to our new edition of Talking Tom Ben News.
Less than 24 hours after that shooting in El Paso, a mass shooter killed 9 people and injured 26 others in Dayton, Ohio.
The killer died at the scene. They have been identified as Connor Betts, a 24-year-old from Bear Brook, Ohio, according to CBS.
Local media site WHIO reported the shooting occurred at Ned Pepper's Bar on East 5th Street in Dayton's Oregon District at around 1 a.m. local time.
No motive has been identified at this time.
Meanwhile, federal authorities are treating the El Paso shooting as a case of domestic terrorism, according to the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Texas.
The Justice Department is also seriously considering bringing federal hate crime and federal firearm charges which carry a possible penalty of death against the suspect.
3 sources have identified the suspect as 21-year-old Patrick Crucius of Allen, Texas.
Yesterday's shooting left 20 people dead and 26 injured. Blood donations are urgently needed.
Both shootings are getting local reaction here in Talking City.
So for more on this, we are joined by our Talking News world correspondent, Talking Tyler. Thank you, Tom. It has just been a weekend filled with tragedy and heartbreak as we have seen 2 back-to-back mass shootings in the United States. People here in Talking City say that those shootings in the U.S. are simply devastating to all of us, and they're demanding better gun security in the country. In fact, Mayor Talking Duke announced plans to increase gun security in Talking City following these latest shootings, while paying his respects to victims and families impacted. These tragedies are going to be felt in not only the U.S., but here in Talking City for a long time. Back to you. Thank you, Talking Tyler. Of course, we will have continuing coverage on both shootings on our website, talkingnews.ca, and throughout this newscast.
Turning our attention to other news now, and another foreign oil tanker was seized in the Persian Gulf, Iran state media said today.
It was the third such ship to be detained by Tehran amid high tensions between Iran and the U.S. after Washington renewed sanctions on Iran's oil exports.
Iran's elite Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced it detained the ship's foreign crew for smuggling about 185,000 gallons of fuel from Iran, according to the semi-official foreign news agency.
7 sailors were detained, and no details about the crew's nationalities or who owns the ship were given. Hello, folks. It's Talking Ginger here, and it's time for the first look at Talking City's most accurate forecast. We still have a heat warning in place for the area because we have one more near 30 degrees Celsius day to get through. And this is due to a hot and humid ash that is still over our region, but there is relief as a cool front will come sliding into our region tonight. And with that cool front will come the next chance for showers and thunderstorms. I'll break that down, plus our 7-day forecast coming up. Thank you, Ginger. Pope Francis has sent letters to priests worldwide offering encouragement in light of the global sex abuse scandal that has shaken the Roman Catholic Church.
In a nearly 5,000-word letter, the Pope today acknowledged the pain of priests who feel themselves attacked and blamed for crimes they did not commit.
The pontiff said priests have shared their outrage at what happened and the frustration that for all their hard work they have to face the damage that was done, the suspicion and uncertainty to which it has given rise.
Francis said, without denying or dismissing the harm caused by the scandals, it would be unfair not to express our gratitude to priests who have fulfilled their duties faithfully and generously.
Still to come on a new edition of Talking Tom Ben News, more local reaction following the 2 deadly shootings in the U.S. this weekend.
And King Tut's golden coffin is being restored. That plus your 7-day forecast and sports reports coming up.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is one of the best reviewed movies of the year.
And away we go.
Critics can't stop singing its praises.
10, 20, 30, 40, 50 or more.
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Rated R.
Welcome back. We want to return to our coverage of the 2 recent shootings in the U.S. Yesterday, 20 people were killed and 26 were injured at a shopping complex in El Paso, Texas.
The suspect in that shooting, a 21-year-old male, is in custody, and most Democratic presidential candidates heard about this during a forum in Las Vegas, which we told you about yesterday.
Police say that Initial information showed that the rifle used in the shooting was legally purchased.
And overnight, the latest shooting occurred in Dayton, Ohio. 10 people were killed, including the gunman.
And just recently, we have gotten word that authorities have found writings linked to the suspect of the shooting, Connor Betts, that show he had an interest in killing people. This is according to 2 federal law enforcement sources.
A preliminary assessment of the writings did not indicate any racial or political motives, the sources said.
During a press conference on the shooting, the 9 victims' names were revealed. To keep it tuned to Talking Tom Ben News as we have continuing coverage of both shootings.
Over to the Canadian side of the border now, and the discovery of a damaged boat near the Manitoba town where 2 murder suspects were last seen has prompted an RCMP dive team to search a river.
RCMP said today that the aluminum boat had been spotted Friday on the shore of the Nelson River by a search crew using a helicopter.
An underwater recovery team arrived in Gillam, Manitoba yesterday and was deployed to check out significant areas of interest today, the RCMP said.
Gillam is the last location confirmed to have visited by Briar Smigelski and Cam McLeod, who were shot by police in connection with 3 homicides in northern BC.
Moving on here, and Egypt says it has started the first ever restoration on the gold-covered sarcophagus of the famed boy pharaoh Tutankhamun ahead of the country's new museum opening next year.
Antiquities Minister Khaled El Anani told reporters today that work on the outermost coffin, made of wood and gilded with gold, will take at least 8 months.
He says that's because the state of conservation is very fragile, as it was never restored since 1922, when British archaeologist Howard Carter discovered the intact 3,000-year-old tomb and the treasures it held.
Hello there, everybody. Talking to you here, and it is now time for your forecast, sponsored by Wish. As I said earlier, we are under a heat warning because we still have 1 more hot day to go through today. This heat is being produced by a hot air mass currently over the area that will get pushed aside by a cool front tonight. And with that cool front comes a chance of showers and thunderstorms for tonight. Temperatures today will reach 29 degrees Celsius, but the humidex will make it feel like 37. There are several chances for showers throughout the week, but the best chance, I think, will be Wednesday. Now, let's take a look at sports. After more than 6 months away in the Pro Football Hall of Fame class of 2019 was inducted yesterday in a ceremony that covered nearly 5 hours. This year's class was voted into the Hall back in February, but they weren't enshrined until they took the stage at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium in Canton, Ohio. The class includes defensive backs Johnny Robinson, Ty Law, Ed Reed, and Champ Bailey, as well as former Cowboys Vice President of Personnel Gil Brandt, former Broncos owner Brad Palin, Tony Gonzalez, and Kevin Maui. Ryan Khalil is out of retirement as he will play for the New York Jets on a 1-year deal that will pay up to $8.4 million. Khalil had spent his entire 12-year career with the Panthers. The 34-year-old played in all 16 games in 2018 after 2 injury-ravaged seasons. Alabama coach Nick Saban yesterday addressed rumors that he offered former Ohio State receivers coach Zach Smith a position as passing game coordinator/receivers coach sometime last year. While Saban said he did interview Zach Smith, he said he decided to move on to a different candidate after a background check. And that is going to do it for me, Talking Ginger. Now back to you guys at the Talking Tom Ben News studio. Thank you, Talking Ginger, and that is going to wrap it up for us here on Talking Tom Ben News. We'll see you right back here at 5 for our evening edition. Bye-bye.
Talking Tom Ben News is a production of Alpha 7 Productions.